there's something to be said as a part of this, that when you become an attorney, there's some kind of magical aura that envelops you, and people just see you and they're like, "Oh, you're an attorney. Let me ask you a legal question." And I don't know. In my experience, that definitely happened to me. You know, in 2014 when I became an attorney, people started asking me questions, and I I didn't have any kind of frame of reference to know what they were talking about, how to advise them, or what have you. Yeah, I took contracts and real estate, but I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Um, so I didn't really feel comfortable with that, and that's just a matter of experience. You gotta work in the field of law before you can really know how to do it in a lot of ways. But and kind of in my story, I had those questions at the beginning, and then they kind of dropped off, and now it seems like now, 10 years into it, they're coming back. So more and more people are starting to just see me and say, "Hey, I've got a question. Can you help me with this?" And you know that can be an advantage as far as marketing is concerned. Maybe all you have to do is go to a baseball game of somebody at church, and boom, you're there, and you're supporting one of the kids from church, but at the same time, people see you and they're thinking, "Oh, he's an attorney. I've got this legal problem." But just being out there in the community is going to help you.
Yeah. And it's such an important point to your development and your confidence as an attorney, because I think a lot of us wrestle with imposter syndrome, right? Uh, I'm a lawyer, so therefore I know everything about the law. Well, that doesn't work in any other field, so why would we expect it to work in the legal field? A lot of times because people don't have much interaction with lawyers, or the ones that they do a certain type of practice area that doesn't involve day-to-day life legal questions. And when you do kind of a estate planning practice, you deal with so many different facets of the law and how they all interact, because you're dealing with folks' money and their property, and that necessarily involves different aspects of law, right? So you may deal with an intellectual property question because somebody owns a trademark or a copyright, and they need to figure out how to transfer that, or some sort of license agreement. You're like, I'm not a patent lawyer. How do
Yeah.
I handle these questions? And that's just something that you get more comfortable with over time. You get comfortable with being able to answer the client, "Hey, I don't know, that's not really my area, but here's generally how I would understand that to work. But if you'd like me to do some more research on it, or connect you with a colleague of mine, who I've met through building relationships over time, I'd be happy to do that and get you some more answers to that question." And so that confidence, I think, develops over time and helps you better serve the community that you're a part of. And I think what you had mentioned there was, like, it's such an important thing to have those genuine relationships with people. And I think the byproduct of that is they see you out and about, they see how you carry yourself, they see that you're a person of integrity, hopefully, right? And they see that, okay, well, you treat people this way. I like that. That kind of matches my personality. Maybe then I'll feel comfortable trusting you with my legal question. And that's a big responsibility, I think. And if somebody has enough courage to come up and ask the question, I feel the responsibility of trying to help navigate that to the best I can for them, and just make them feel comfortable interacting with a lawyer. I think you and I have talked about this before, but I've always had that approach that I want to lower that barrier to entry to being able to talk with an attorney, because I didn't grow up around attorneys, so I don't know what the rules are. And so I figure I'll just do what I do and try to make myself approachable. And I think you just got to figure out your personality, even from a networking thing or a marketing thing, if you will. You got to know what you're comfortable with. I'm not a golfer. I'm not going to, close deals on the golf course, but I am going to, like you say, maybe attend a game or play sports with someone, or do something that builds that relationship. And that hopefully then carries over into the other avenues of my life.
Right. Right. Yes.